Okay, so let's start. So, welcome to chapter 1 ng biochemistry. So, our topic for today is about biochemistry and the organization of cells. No? So, ito yung pinaka umpisa ng lahat ng topics sa biochem. So, our goals for today are is to cover the following. No? So discuss natin yung biochem and how it affects life processes, the origin of life, no? Can we create life from laboratory chemicals? Pwede ba yon? Makikita natin mamaya. And then, kuha tayo ng distinction between two common life forms, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. And then, yung general overview ng mga living species sa Earth, which is divided into kingdoms and domains. No? Mabilis lang naman yun. And then lastly, biochemical energetics and spontaneity tayo sa chemical reactions. Mabilis lang to. Okay. So let's talk about biochemistry, no? And life na mismo, no? So, ano meron sa life, no? We know that life is composed of different chemical processes, no? Para maging possible 'yan. For example, tayo ngayon, nakaupo, nanonood ng classes, ano yung mga chemical processes that happens to our body, no? Pwedeng habang humihinga tayo, there is an exchange ng gases, no? So that our blood will be supplied with oxygen. And then the waste product, carbon dioxide from the Krebs cycle, mare-release siya as CO2, no, sa ating hininga. And habang nangyayari yung exchange ng gases sa ating katawan, nangyayari rin yung combustion ng mga kinain natin kaninang tanghali, no? So, ang purpose nun is to allow us to have energy, no? To allow us to have energy to work, no? Or to listen to our classes, no? So, lahat 'yun nangyayari, no? All at the same time. So, those two are just few of the many biochemical processes that happen sa ating body. So, number one, very complex, no? Yung mga nangyayari sa ating katawan, no? And that's the goal of biochemistry, no? To try to understand what are those biological processes na nangyayari sa katawan natin, no? It tries to explain ano yung nangyayari when we inhale, when we exhale, or let's say yung ating cells, ano nangyayari sa kanya over time, no? Paano siya dumadami, paano siya namamatay, no? So lahat ng mga ganong questions, no, that is related to life processes that can be answered by biochemistry, no? Before, naniniwala sila na ang life, no? Teka lang. Okay. So anyway, so before naniniwala sila na yung life, no, life processes or yung mga biological substances, they are just made of vital forces, no. So gawa sila dahil sa vital force, okay? Pero ano nangyari, no? Yun yung nagiging hindrance, no, for the older scientists before, no, to understand life, no, in its molecular level, no. Kasi naniniwala sila nag-exist na yan diyan, yan na yan, no. So parang yun yung naging restriction nila to understand biochemistry, no, or the processes and life, no. However, later on nakita nila na hindi naman pala ganun yung creation ng mga molecules sa human beings, let's say, or sa animals or sa plants, no? Hindi sila created out of nowhere, no? Hindi sila created by this magical vital force. Instead, they are created by chemical reactions that can be done also in laboratories, no? Okay? So since we can mimic the biological processes sa katawan natin in the laboratories, then yun yung nag-pave way, no, for us to understand this subject, no, this biochemistry, no. So kumbaga, kung ano yung nangyayari sa body, we can replicate that, no. Okay, para makita natin, magkaroon tayo ng complete understanding sa life processes. Okay, and yung biochemistry, this is related to many other fields in science, no, especially biology and medicine, no. Okay? And yan. And ang important application nito is of course medicine, especially during this time, no? Yung vaccines, no? Yung bakit siya nag-exist, bakit mRNA gamit natin sa vaccines, no? Biochem yung magsasagot kung bakit ganun yung mga pinili nilang techniques na. So, mandi-discuss natin yon later on pag nandun na tayo sa part ng lesson natin. Okay? So anyway, so again, sabi natin kanina, no, na before, naniniwala sila na yung mga molecules sa katawan ng tao, they just existed out of nowhere because of vitalism, no, or the vital force. However, later on, we just proved na hindi ganun yung case, no. So, nagkaroon tayo ng ways to understand the body, no, yung ating katawan, no. So, gumawa tayo ng organization in which we can understand them based on their properties as atoms. Then we will see the collective effects when they are turned into molecules. And then later on, yung mga molecules na yon, they will combine to form biomolecules, no? And then those biomolecules will further combine, no, to form cells, no, or the components of the cells, or also known as organelles, no. And then when those cells come up together, no, magkakaroon na tayo ng tissues, then organ, then the full body na, no? So, kumbaga, yung pagka-debunk lang ng vitalism, yun yung nag-pave way, no? For us to understand yung ating katawan, no? Or even the animals and the plants, no? Okay, so siya yung nag-pave way para magkaroon ng possibility, no, na maunawaan natin ang organization sa ating katawan and their corresponding effects, no? Okay? And ang biochemistry, this is reliant sa organic chemistry. Of course, no? Kasi ang meron sa ating katawan ay organic molecules, no? So we are composed of molecules that are connected to each other, no? Na nagsuserve ng iba't ibang function, okay? So for example, for cell signaling, no? Pag magsisignal yung mga cells sa katawan natin, there are certain molecules, no? There are certain organic molecules that are responsible to do that, no? So kumbaga, sa kada molecule sa ating katawan may kanya-kanyang responsibilidad, no? So let's say phosphates, no? Yung phosphates that is used to transfer energy in the form of ATP or ADP, no? So, in order for us to understand yung effect ng mga molecules na yon, dapat alam muna natin kung ano yung mga molecules na yon, no? And ang sagot kung ano yung mga molecules na yon, that is given by organic chem, no? Okay? Depending on the functional groups of your organic molecules, no, may mga corresponding effects sila sa structure and sa function ng ating body, no, or ng ating cells or even molecules, no. Okay, so ito yung mga common functional groups that we will encounter in biochem, most of which has been discussed last sem naman, no. Ang hindi lang natin na cover masyado ay ang hindi natin na cover dahil sa mga suspension ay excuse me, itong mga carboxyl esters, amides, no. Ayan, so yan yung mga hindi na natin na-cover pero madali lang yung concepts dyan, no? So again, sa biochemistry, pag iba yung functional group, may corresponding effect yun sa biological uh, biological systems natin. Okay? So, yun lang yung intro part natin sa biochem. Mabilis lang, no? So, kumbaga, ang ginawa lang natin is that, tinignan natin yung implication ng vitalism sa pag-understand ng biochem, no? And since vitalism was debunked, no, by Friedrich Wöhler, kung naalala nyo pa, that paved way, no, for us to understand the entire species, entire life forms sa earth, no. Okay, kasi no, since nawala yung notion na nag-exist lang yan, bahala na nag-exist yan, no. So nagkaroon na tayo ng greater inquiry, no. And then we started analyzing life, no, based on its composition, how those atoms come up to form molecules and how molecules work together as cells, as tissues, and later on as species na naglalakad sa Earth, no? So, ganun. Okay, and then tinignan natin yung importance ni OrgChem sa biochem, no? So, heavily reliant ang biochem sa OrgChem because biochem molecules, no? Yung mga biomolecules natin, they are composed of organic molecules, no? And then ito yung mga functional groups that we are expecting, no, to see in the future topics, no? Anyway, hindi naman 'to in-depth org chem 'no. So kung nakalimutan niyo na yung ibang org chem natin, okey lang 'no. Kasi yung biochem more on kuwento lang talaga 'to. Okay. So ngayon, let's focus naman on the origins of life 'no. So paano ba nagkaroon ng life according to science 'no. Hindi tayo magba-Bible ngayon 'no. So tignan natin yung, point of view ng science when it comes to life formation 'no. So it all started sa Big Bang Theory, parang lyrics yun ng Big Bang Theory. Okay, so it all started noong nagkaroon ng explosion sa singularity, and then that singularity nagkalat siya ng mga particles, no, outwards, no, and that expansion of space and time is the Big Bang Theory, no. Okay, then over time the atoms, no, in there mula sa singularity, mga atoms, mga particles, no. Okay, so anong nangyari? They combined, no, to form atoms, then eventually molecules, and then later on nag-compile talaga sila to form big chunks of celestial bodies, no. Okay, so nagkaroon ng mga nebula, and then later on those nebula became the solar systems, no. Solar systems kasi maraming ganun sa paligid natin. Okay, so isa na tayo doon sa product ng planetary nebula, no, na naging possible because of Big Bang Theory. Okay, so after the formation ng solar system, yung Earth, no, during that time, masyadong mainit pa siya, no? Because freshly made pa yung ating mga planets noon, no? And they are spinning very, very fast, no? So, it is believed that life is not possible during that time, no? Kasi molten lava pa yung Earth, no? During that time. However, over time, no? As the Earth loses its momentum and then nag-expand na yung universe, lumalamig na siya, what happened is that nagkaroon ng drastic drop sa temperatures sa Earth, no? So instead na kulay pula siya because of the molten soil, molten lava, nag-cool down siya to form cool surfaces, no, sa ating crust, no? And then eventually tinamaan tayo ng mga asteroid that contains water, no? And yung mga water na yon, yun yung naging reason bakit may oceans tayo sa Earth, no? So ngayon, um, ano meron na? Siyempre, medyo extreme pa rin yung environment sa Earth, no? Wala pa tayong atmosphere during that time. May mga volcans, sumasabog pa rin sila, no, to form the Pangaea. And then yung water, super duper dami, no? So kumbaga, Earth was a mess, no? Super messy niya talaga dati. So life is not possible during that time. However, may something interesting na nangyayari rin, no, during those times, no. Bakit? Kasi yung mga conditions before sa Earth, no, yung mga harsh conditions sa Earth, yun pala yung magi-start ng life din, okay? So imagine nyo yung ozone, no? 'Di ba walang ozone layer noon kasi wala pang atmosphere, no? Yung mga UV rays pala from the sun na tumatama sa earth, no? Tumatama sa water, tumatama sa mga molecules sa ano, molecules sa tubig, no? They allowed chemical reactions to happen, okay? Even yung intense heat, no, even yung kidlat, no, sa earth dati. So ganun, yung mga ganung condition, harsh conditions before, although it will not make life possible, pero it is paving way pala, no. Gumagawa lang siya ng steps, no, para mangyari yung buhay, no. Okay, so ang nangyayari during that time is that yun nga, harsh yung environment, pero chemical reactions start to occur, no. So nag start na magkaroon tayo ng mga molecules, no. And then later on, over millions of years, or let's say billions of years, no, nagkaroon na ng tinatawag na primordial soup, no. So that means the earth, no, is composed of soup, no. Ibig sabihin yung dagat, no, composed na siya ng mga molecules that would later on make life possible na, no. Okay, so kung makikita natin dito sa picture na to, ayan yung dinedepict dyan yung strong extreme environments, no, during the early times of Earth, no. So sumasabog-sabog yung bulkan, kumikidlat, and together with the UV rays from the sun, they all they all made chemical reactions possible, no. So from simple molecules such as nitrogen, oxygen, water, ammonia, no, that is vented from the from the Earth's mantle, no. And yung iba pumapasok sa Earth through asteroids, no. So yung mga conditions na yon, ang nangyari pala doon is yung mga kidlat, no, yung mga heat, no, they provided energy for reactions to happen. So eventually, nagkumpul-kumpul na yung mga molecules na yan to form other substances such as carbon dioxide, cyanide, methane, benzene, and then later on, nagsama-sama na talaga sila to form molecules that are precursors sa life, such as the adenine, the nucleotides, no, the sugars, no, and so on. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag natin primordial soup. No? So, paano uli nabuo yung primordial soup? Because of the harsh environment sa Earth. No? So, wala pang life, pero yung harsh environment na yun pala ang mag-pave way sa life. No? Okay. So, kumbaga, kapag ako yung pag nag-share lang ako ng inspiration sa bata, ko dati sa senior high ginagawa ko yun. Yung sinasabi ko lang 'to 'no, na dati hindi possible ang life pero due to harshness ng earth 'no, nagiging possible ang life. So tiisin niyo lang yung harshness because there's life after that 'no. So ganun ganun din naman kasi nangyari before 'no. Okay, according to science 'no. Okay, so ganun. And then since we have all the necessary molecules no to create life no, ano nangyari? Nagsama-sama na yung mga molecules na yon to form RNAs no, and then later on mga mga unicellular organisms and etc. no. So ganun. So, ang question diyan, paano nila nalaman 'yan, no? Okay, paano kaya nila nalaman? Wala naman sila during that time, 'di ba? Okay. So, one experiment that proved this hypothesis is correct, no, is the Miller-Urey experiment, no. So, ganito yung itsura ng setup niya. Okay. So, this mimic, no, the harsh environments, no, sa Earth before, no. So, isa siyang closed chamber. So, naka-enclose yung and ano na yan, mga chamber na yan. Dugtong-dugtong siya pero closed yan. Okay? So, ano yung minimimic dito? So, yung heat source, this mimics yung volcanoes na sumasabog-sabog sa Earth, no? Yung spark, it mimics yung yung mga kidlat-kidlat sa Earth during the old times, no. And then yung water, ito yung mga galing sa asteroids, no, na yun, na nag-provide ng water sa Earth. So ano yung ganap ng Miller-Urey experiment, no. So ganito lang. So kumbaga, this experiment mimic the conditions before sa Earth, no. Mainit because of volcanoes, may kidlat-kidlat because of the intense friction ng particles sa atmosphere, no? Tapos yun. And then, ganito yung ginawa nila. So, they provided basic molecules dito sa system na to. So, naglagay sila ng mga simple molecules such as water, methane, ammonia, hydrogen gas, and other gases, no? Nitrogen gases, no? Tapos, ginawa nila, pagkalagay nila ng mga molecules na yan sa system, sinara nila yan. And then they let that condition run over long periods of time, no. So hinayaan nila mag-continue yung experiment na yan for very long time, no. Hinayaan nila yung masunog, maluto, kumukulo-kulo yan, then lumalamig, so on and so forth, no? So, ano yung napansin nila over time, no? So, I'm not sure kung ilang ilang months yon tinagal, no, or ilang weeks yan tinagal. Pero ito yung na-observe nila. After conducting the experiment for a certain time, kinuha nila yung sample ng water doon. Okay? And then when they tested kung ano yung mga molecules that are present there, they were surprised, no, na nakakita sila ng mga nucleic acid, ng mga sugars, no. And yun yung reason bakit sinabi natin na primordial soup yung nangyari sa Earth before, no? Because these conditions, itong harsh conditions na to, that allowed for chemical reactions to happen, no? And yung mga chemical reactions na yun pala, yung mga products nun ay yung mga ano na, mga fundamental units sa buhay, no? Such as the nucleotide bases and the sugars, no? So doon natin nalaman na possible ah, itong hypothesis na to, yung primordial soup, no? Okay? And then later on, they also found out, no, ito mga recent publication na lang naman to. Ito, published paper tong picture na to. So they found out na from simple molecules, no. Ito yung mga chemicals present before living cells, no. Kumbaga, ito yung mga nasa primordial soup pa. So kumbaga, if you just mix correct molecules, no, na present during the primordial soup period, no. So kapag pinagalo-halo mo lang yung certain molecules na correct, no, you can actually create nucleotides ng RNA, no. So that makes life possible, no, even kahit wala pang buhay nun. Okay, so wala pang buhay na gumagawa ng mga molecules na yan. Pero again, yung harsh conditions sa Earth, yun yung nag-pave way para mabuo yung mga um, biomolecules natin. Okay? And then later on, since dumadami na yung mga ingredients for life, no, nagsama-sama sila to form cells, no. Okay, so it will take time, no, super tagal na time, no, para mabuo yun. Okay, para magkaroon ng cells, no, yung mga nucleotides, they form single strands, no. Then yung other molecules na na-form such as sugars, no, nakakagawa sila ng cytoskeletons, no, and the cell membranes nagagawa from the lipids, fatty acids that are also produced during the primordial soup period, no. So lahat ng yon, they come together to form the organisms we know today. Okay, so kanina sabi ko before we start, is life possible, no, sa laboratory? Pwede ba tayo makagawa ng life sa laboratory? Theoretically pwede, okay? Because the Miller-Urey experiment just proved us, no, na pwede kang makagawa ng mga biomolecules out of simple molecules and mimicking the conditions in the early times of the earth, no. However, possible siya pero hindi rin at the same time. Bakit? Because ang tagal, no, bago mangyari 'yan, no. So, yung ating Earth, it existed for billions of years, no. So if you want to create life conditions, then if you want to create light out of scratch, then surely kailangan mo rin ng billions of years for that to happen, no. Or kung naniniwala tayo sa Diyos, may divine intervention dapat, no. So ganun. So theoretically, yes, no, you can create life. However, just like us, no, it will take time, no, para ma-perfect ang system. Okay? So, kasi tignan mo to, no. So, may mga failed nucleotides and may mga new routes, no, that are discovered, no. So, itong pagmi-mix-mix ng ating molecules, hindi yan nangyayari yan at an instant, no. So, it will take time, no, para malaman ng chemical reactions kung ano ba dapat yung paghalo-haluin para mabuo yung mga biomolecules na yan. Okay? So, ganun. So, it will take time, no, to perfect the complex systems that we have, no, sa ating katawan. Okay? So, yun. So, that's the start of life, no. So, nag-umpisa tayo sa Big Bang Theory, then nabuo yung Earth, no? And then during the harsh period sa Earth, ang dami nangyari. Umulan ng tubig from asteroids, kumikidlat-kidlat, yung mga UV rays from the sun, nakatulong din sila sa chemical reaction until there are enough molecules, no, to create the primordial soup na, no. So, yun. And then, since meron na tayong enough biomolecules, life is now possible. Okay? And life as we know, we can classify them as either one of the two. No? So they can be classified as prokaryotes. Ito yung pinaka nauna talaga. And the eukaryotes. No? Ito yung mga later species. No? Or mga later formation ng cells. No? Anyway, so let's differentiate the two. Okay, so when you say prokaryote, no? So meaning niyan is, yan yung mga cells before the nucleus was made, no? So, ibig sabihin, ito yung mga simple organisms na na-produce, no? During the primordial soup era. So, ibig sabihin, hindi pa ganun ka-perfect. Pero at least buhay na yan, no? Okay? So, yan. So, these are the prokaryotes, no? It literally means without nucleus, no? So that means yung cell, no, halo-halo yung genetic material niya with the other substances or the other organelles sa cytoplasm niya. Okay? So ganun, halo-halo yung mga substances sa loob niya. Okay. However, over time as evolution perfected itself, no, its ways, no, nagkaroon na tayo ng eukaryotes, no, wherein ang literal definition niya ay may nucleus, no. So instead of mixing your genetic material sa cytoplasm, nilagay na niya sa nucleus, no. So it will be protected, no. Okay? And it can be inherited na rin, no. Okay? So yan. So let's compare the two lang, no. Okay? So when we say prokaryotes, no, yun nga, wala siyang nucleus, no. Okay, so wala siyang defined boundaries for the nucleus. So that means all its genetic material are kalat-kalat sa cell. No? When it comes to cell membrane, both have cell membrane. Pag usapang mitochondria naman, the eukaryotes, no, can provide itself energy. Yung mga prokaryotes, hindi. No? So meron lang siyang special chemicals, no, uh, that make it that makes it for it possible, no, to move, no, nabubulol na. Okay, so basta yun, may mga certain chemicals lang siya na nag-a-allow ng kanyang movement, no. Okay, compare that to eukaryotes na meron na talaga siyang powerhouse, no, may gawaan na talaga siya ng energy niya. Okay. So when it comes to endoplasmic reticulum, no, yung mag-organize ng mga ribosomes, yung tutulong sa protein synthesis, no? Walang ganon sa prokaryotes, pero for eukaryotes, meron, no? So that's why animals, no, including us, we can produce many types of proteins, no? That is suited for different functions sa ating body, no? So nakakatulong ng endoplasmic reticulum dun eh. Okay, pero may ribosomes yung prokaryotes and eukaryotes, no. They can prokaryotes can still produce, no, proteins. However, not so special, no. Okay, kasi simple lang yung niya, yung structure. And then usapang chloroplast naman tayo. So prokaryotes do not have, no. Pero ang eukaryotes meron, no. Especially kapag plant cell yan. Walang animal cell na may chloroplast, syempre. So yung mga plant cell, they have chloroplast, no, in order to convert water, carbon dioxide into sugars, no. So yan. Naalala nyo pa ba yung mga ganyan? No. So refresher lang naman tong ginagawa natin. So you can check this kapag nagko-quiz tayo, okay? So ganun lang. Kasi to be honest with you, ang last na pagkakaalala ko dito, pa ako noon eh. Second year high school. Ay nung nag-college ako, second year college, na-discuss din 'to. Pero yun pa rin naman yung concept, ulit-ulit lang, no. So recall lang tayo. Okay? So, let's focus on the prokaryotes ulit, no? So, again, as I told you earlier, no? Yung prokaryotes natin, wala siyang nucleus, no? So that's why all this genetic material are scattered, no, within the cell membrane, no? And together with its ribosomes, no? So, ganun. Ito lang yung zoom picture niya. Pero yung eukaryotes, yung parang yung picture natin, meron na siyang nucleus, no? Okay? So yun. And also, eukaryotes are found in multicellular species, no? Okay? So such as tayo, no? Mga halaman, no? Pero yung mga prokaryotes, mostly mga singular cells lang sila, no? Mga single cellular organisms such as bacteria, no? Mga ganon, E. coli, mga ganon. So sila yung mga prokaryotes. Okay? So this is an image that will show us yung mga components of the cell. Mabilis ang kwentuhan lang tayo dito kasi na-discuss na naman to dati pa ng ating high school. Tsaka hindi naman ito yung focus ng subject natin. Daanan lang talaga natin. No? Okay? So there are similarities between animal cell or the and the eukaryotic cells, no, and the prokaryotic cells, no? Okay? So ito yung tatlong uri ng cell. We have the prokaryotic, the animal, and the plant, no? Pero itong dalawa, these are eukaryotes, no? So tignan natin yung major difference. Ang eukaryotes may nucleus, ang prokaryotes wala, no? Itong eukaryotes merong endoplasmic reticulum. Yun yung squiggly stuff, no, na nakadikit sa nucleus, no. So yan. And then attached to it ay yung ating ribosomes, no. So yung mga ribosomes naka-attach yan sa rough ER, no. And then what else? Um, yung ating prokaryotic cells, ribosome lang yung meron. Wala siyang ER, no. Okay. Endoplasmic reticulum yung ER. Ano pa yung mga differences? May mitochondria sa eukaryotes, prokaryotes, wala. Okay. So sa eukaryotes, we have also Golgi apparatus. And then yung plant cells, merong vacuole. Mamaya tignan natin yung mga function nila. Okay. And then we have the cell membrane for all three cells. Ang cell wall that is exclusive for prokaryotes and plant cells. Pag animal cells naman, ano yan, cell membrane, no? Okay, so yan. So the purpose of those membranes is to protect the contents of the cell from the uh, external substances, no? Okay. Ano pa yung mga major difference, no? Sa animal cell, we have lysosome. Okay, kapag magsusuicide yung cell, yan yung ginagamit niya. Sa plant cell, we have the chloroplast, no? Yun yung mga unique, no? Okay? So, yun lang. Yun lang yung mga common parts ng uh, cell, no? So, ito yung mga functions nila. So, mabilisan lang na tayo. So, kapag nucleus, hulaan nyo, ang nucleus ay dun yung genetic material nakastore, no? Okay? And then yung mitochondria, that is, as you know it, the powerhouse of the cell, no? So siya yung place sa cell in which energy is majorly produced, no? When I say majorly, ibig sabihin may minor, no? Hindi lang kasi lahat ng energy na po-produce sa mitochondria. Pwede rin ma-produce yung energy sa cytoplasm, okay? Ano yon, glycolysis yon, pati Krebs cycle, no? Ay, yung Krebs cycle in between the two na. Then yung electron transport chain sa mitochondria na. Yun yung super duper daming energy yung pinoproduce. Okay? Then we have the chloroplast, that is the site for photosynthesis, no? Ayan. So, yan yung magko-convert ng carbon dioxide and water into sugars, no? Through redox reactions, no? Endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, so ito yung membrane that is connected to the nucleus and sa ribosome, no? So medyo diyan dumadaan yung mga RNAs, no, when they are going to be sequenced, no, kung sila ay ita-translate into proteins, no. So diyan sila dadaan. Pwede rin naman sa cytoplasm. And then we have the Golgi apparatus, no. So sa Golgi apparatus, diyan yung ito yung para siyang ano, container din ng mga proteins, no, ng sugars ng cell, no. Lysosomes, ito yung ginagamit, no. Ito yung storage part for animal cells, no, that contains hydrolytic enzymes, no, na kapag gusto kunwari ng cell mamatay, it will release the components of the lysosomes, then masisira na yung cell, no. Okay. So kumbaga parang ito yung lalagyan ng agua oxinada. Pag nasira yan, bubula yung cell, mamamatay yung cell. Okay. Okay, so we have peroxisomes, no? Similar din siya with lysosomes, no? However, dito mas specific yung yung chemicals, no? Ito yung aqua oxinado talaga yung nakalagay. Pero kapag sinabing lysosomes, similar to that, no? Other enzymes. Okay. May mga oxysomes pa nga, no? So dun sila nakalagay sa lysosomes. Okay, so silang dalawa, they are used to initiate cell death, aka apoptosis. Okay. Next one, we have the cell membrane. Okay, so the cell membrane, ito yung pinaka-basket ng mga organelles, no? Ng mga laman-laman ng cell. Okay, so it includes the organelles, even the cytoskeleton, the framework of the cell, yung shape niya. Okay, and the cytosol, no? Oh, so yan. Dito nangyayari yung transport ng mga molecules in and out of the cell. Diyan nangyayari yung glycolysis, no? So hindi lang siya container, may function din siya, no? Other than holding the cells together, no? Then we have the cell wall. It provides rigid structure, especially for plant cells. And then we have the vacuole, especially for plant cell. The vacuole is the storage compartment for water and other substances, no, for plant cells. Okay, so ganun. And then since marami tayong living things sa sa Earth, no, we can classify them into 5 kingdoms, no. So depending on the complexity, may kanya-kanyang category yan, no. So the simplest organisms that are produced, no, on Earth, no, are the moneras, no, or the prokaryotes, no. And then followed by the protista, sila yung mga simple eukaryotes. And then later on, they evolved, no, to form the multicellular eukaryotes, or the more complex species, no. Okay, such as the fungi, plants, and animals, no, which includes us, no. So yan. Pero some biologists prefer to classify living things into 3 domains, no, instead of the 5 kingdoms, no. I think hindi pa nga to updated tong picture na to. 7 na ata yung kingdom. Pero okay lang yan. Di naman tayo biology. Okay. So pwede na yan. So, however, biologists sometimes prefer to subdivide all living species, no, sa Earth, no, into 3 domains, no. So we have the bacteria domain, the archaea, and the eukarya. So bacteria and archaea, ito yung tinatawag na prokaryotes, no. And then yung eukarya, ito yung mga eukaryotes, no. So ito yung mas general na. So pwede natin i-classify yan into 5 kingdoms or 3 domains, no. So hindi na tayo magda-dive into that masyado. Biology na yan eh. So dun tayo sa chemistry part, no. So ganun lang. And lastly, malapit na tayo matapos, all biochemical processes involve energies, no. So kunwari ngayon, bakit tayo gumagalaw? Because may energy na napoproduce sa ating katawan, no. And this is one example. Kunwari ito, this is our energy currency ng cell, adenosine triphosphate, no. When adenosine triphosphates, no, break into two components, the adenosine diphosphate and the phosphate molecule. Pag yan nag-split into two, may energy na katumbas yan. Kaya tayo, may energy ngayon. Okay? And then later on, mauubos yan. Mauubos yung ATP, no? Hindi naman mauubos. Mababa na yung levels ng ATP. So, ano mangyayari kapag ganon? We have to provide our body the energy, no? Para dumami uli yung ATP natin through cellular metabolism, no? So, ganun lang. So, parang cycle lang yan. So, may reactions that will release energy for us to move, no? For our body to be heated. And there are cases na minsan, ikaw na yung kailangan mag-provide ng energy, no? For other biochemical processes to happen, no? Okay? So, kung titignan natin yan in thermodynamic point of view, na-discuss na natin to last semester, no? We can classify chemical reactions whether sila is spontaneous, in equilibrium, or non-spontaneous, no? Depending on the value of delta G or the Gibbs free energy. Okay, so if delta G is less than zero or the Gibbs free energy is below zero, that means energy is released. No, so that is an exergonic reaction. However, if delta G is positive in value or greater than zero, it means the reaction is endergonic. No, so it will require energy. And dito yung basis ng life, no. So is life possible or not? Delta G yung magsasabi, no. Okay. So in order for life to be possible, yung ating body that is evolved, no, that is designed, no, to make balance, no, sa mga exergonic and endergonic processes, no, binabalance niya yung dalawang chemical reactions, so life will be spontaneous or life will happen. Okay, so for example, there is a balance between combustion reactions and the formation of adenosine triphosphates, no. So kunwari, kumain ka ng food, ito yung mangyayari sa glycolysis, no? Your food will be converted into carbon dioxides and water. Together with it is energy. So that's exergonic. And that energy released by this reaction will be used, no, to create ATPs, no, or the energy of the cell, no. So kumbaga, ang life ay cycle lang between delta G being negative and delta G being positive, no. Life will never be in equilibrium. Okay. So ang life, no, hihinto yan, it will cease to exist once all biochemical processes are in equilibrium. So that means zero na yung delta G. So yun yung death, no, in thermodynamic point of view. Okay? So for life to be possible, yung ating body, yung ating mga cells, no, they have to see, no, they have to balance these two reactions, no, para maging possible yan. Pero if yan ay maging equal to zero, patay. So deads na. Yun yung death natin, thermodynamically speaking. Okay, so yun lang yung coverage ng ating discussion ngayon. No? So, mabilis lang tayo ngayon. No? Expect na medyo ganito talaga yung style ng biochem. Kasi as I told you, puro lang siya kwento. Okay, so unlike org-chem na ang daming concepts dito, chika-chika lang. No? Kasi yung mga concepts before, dadaanan lang uli natin. Okay, so ngayon lang to kasi first chapter to eh. No? So again, before we end our class, balikan uli natin yung whole topic, no, para ma-summarize ninyo, no. So again, biochemistry, chemistry of life, no, it tries to understand life, no, on a molecular level or at an atomic level, no. However, that was not possible due to vital forces. However, nung sinira yan ni Friedrich Wöhler, yun, naging possible na yung understanding ng life, no. So, yon, over time, we were able to classify life into different organizations, no? So, kapag nalaman mo yung one organization, pwede mo na ma-understand yung iba pang levels ng uh, structures ng tao, no? So, ganun lang. And orgchem is heavily used in biochemistry, especially we are dealing with molecules here, no? And each molecule sa biochem, they have several functional groups, each serving different functions, no? So yun lang yun. And life, paano nagkaroon ng life? We started with the Big Bang Theory, no? After 12 episodes, nagkaroon na ng solar system, and then later on, uh, the Earth started with with harsh environments, and then that allowed for the substances to do their thing, no? So nagkaroon na ng mga substances na biomolecules, no? And yun, nagkaroon na tayo ng tinatawag na primordial soup, no? Wherein from simple molecules, no, due to harsh environments, nakagawa tayo ng molecules that will enable life to occur, no? And this idea was actually tested by the Miller-Urey experiment, no? So the Miller-Urey experiment, this checked, no, whether the initial conditions on Earth will make biomolecules, and to their surprise, yes, it did, no? Okay. And yan, ito naman, it shows us that yung yung mechanism, no, paano nakabuo ng mga nucleotides, no, during that time, no. So kumbaga, it's a trial and error for the molecules, no, for the reactions. So nag-trial and error yung mga molecules for very, very, very long periods of time, no, until they come up with nucleotide bases, no. And then eventually, yung mga nasa primordial soup, sila yung ginamit to create life, no. And we know today we can classify life as either prokaryotes or eukaryotes, no. So prokaryotes, sila yung mga buhay, mga living things na walang nucleus. Ang eukaryotes, sila yung mga living things with nucleus. Okay? And then these are the comparison, no? Ito yung comparison between uh, the two types of species na nabuo due to evolution. Okay? Most notable dyan is the nucleus, no? And then ito yung mga structures, no? Structural components ng ating cell and their corresponding functions. And we can classify living things in 5 kingdoms, or the domains, the 3 domains, no? And yan, life is possible because it is a balance between spontaneous reaction and not spontaneous reactions, no? So ganun lang. Yun na yun. Yun na yung first part ng biochem. So expect na yung quiz nyo, madali lang talaga, no? Okay. Ito, may question ako. Is virus considered a living thing or not? Considered ba yun as living thing or not? The answer is nasa gitna siya. Okay? So, it is alive pero hindi siya alive. So, may buhay siya na parang wala. Bakit? No? Kasi viruses, they contain genetic material such as yung COVID-19. Okay? However, it lacks certain criteria, no, para masabing living things yan. No? So, it lacks yung organelles, no? Paano siya dadami on its own, hindi niya kaya yon. Kasi yung cells natin, kaya yon, di ba? By replication process, no? From by mitosis, no? Meiosis, no? So yung mga ganung processes, yun yung criteria for life, no? However, yung viruses, they cannot do that alone. They have to hijack cells, no? Para maging possible yan. Example, yung COVID, di yan dadami on itself, no? It has to infect someone muna, no? Until madami na siya, then dun siya kakalat, no? So ganun lang. So baka lumabas sa quiz, no? Which of the following is not a living thing? So pwede sagot nyo virus, no? So nasa borderline siya. Bakit nasa borderline? Yes, wala siyang mga requirements, no, para dumami, pero may genetic material kasi siya, no? Yan yung weird sa kanya. Okay? So ganun lang. So siguro isa siya sa mga byproduct ng ng primordial soup. Remember, maraming mga may mga mali-maling na produce during that time, no, sa primordial soup era. And most probably, yung mga waste product, sila yung mga naging viruses, no. So, ganun. So, we are still learning lots of stuff about virus, especially during this time, no. And so, that's our first chapter. Very quick discussion lang. Do you have any questions? Or okay na kayo? Okay na? So, basta ganun lang ha. Again, the materials have been posted on Canvas already. Please check na lang dun sa ano, dun sa pages, no. Andun yung file natin na itong PowerPoint. Okay? So, ganun lang. Ah, Punta lang kayo ng Canvas. Download nyo na lang, no. So, you don't have to focus naman masyado on memorization, no? Introductory part pa lang naman tayo. Marami pang kailangan i-memorize sa biochem. Kaya easy lang tayo. Okay? So this will be the easiest chapter for now. Later on, medyo magiging complex na yung ating discussion. Na? So dito magsusolving tayo. Ito, more on construction. Pagsasama-samahin natin yung mga molecules. Ito naman more on analysis. Ito, calculation and analysis yan. And then later on, ito yung pinaka-intensive talaga sa utak, central dogma, and the metabolic pathways. So, dadalian lang natin yan. So, for now, chillax lang tayo. Okay? So, yan. So, that's all for today. Hopefully, may nadampot kayo, no? Especially yung sa origins of life, no? Medyo nakaka-amaze kasi, no? Na kaya pala ma-explain ni science, no? Yung life, no? Ah, Kahit walang Bible stuff, no? Walang mga magic stuff from the Bible. Okay? So it makes sense, no? Pero still, may questions ka pa rin. Ah, ano kaya yung driving force sa lahat, no? So may God ba? May wala? Hindi natin sure. Pero it's a matter of faith na lang. Okay, so anyway, so basta yun lang. Na-amaze lang din talaga ako nung nakwento sa amin yun dati. Yung origins of life, pati yung Miller-Urey experiment. No? So possible pala talaga makagawa ng life. Okay, so yun lang. That's all for today. I'll see you again next week. Next week, our discussion will be on water. So since water lang yung topic natin, expect na around 1 hour lang din yung discussion natin dyan. Okay? Mabilis lang din yan. Okay? So mga chapter 3 and below pa tayo matatagalan. Okay? So yan. So I'll see you again next week. Stay safe, and uh, yung ating quiz, i-open ko siya by, let's say, Wednesday or Thursday na rin. Okay? So, ganun. That will be good for 1 week, no? Para sa inyo. Okay? So, thank you for attending, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Ingat kayo always.